Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्कपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम। So once again, namaste to everyone.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om, Hari Om. So we were seeing the third and the fourth shloka. We will chant. Ye tvaksharamanirdeshyam
Etvaksharamanirdeshyam
avyaktam paryupasate
Avyaktam paryupasate
sarvatra gamachintyam cha
Sarvatra gamachintyam cha
कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्
Kudastamachalam dhruvam
सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामम्
Sanyamyendriyagramam
सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः
Sarvatra samabudhyah
ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव
Te prapnuvanti mameva
सर्वभूतहिते रताः
Sarvabhutahite rataha.
Good. So, as I mentioned in the previous classes, in this 12th chapter, Krishna is preparing Arjuna, and of course all of us,
Nirguna.
for what is to come from the Antima Shatka. That is the last 6 chapters, 13 to 18. The focus of which are Jnana Yoga and Jiveshwara Aikyam. And these two slokas are a prelude to that end portion of the Gita teaching, where the final message of the Upanishads is revealed. And as we have discussed in the 4th shloka, Krishna has introduced some of the important features of Nirguna Brahman, for us to comprehend the nature of that entity, which is the real nature of everything in the universe, including us. And the description he gives are what? Aksharam, Anirdeshyam, Sarvatragam, Achintyam, Kutastam, Achalam, Dhruvam. 7 descriptions he gives. And in fact, we have seen in various places different descriptions are given. Even in the Upanishads also, even though some of them may be repetition or they use the same words, but different words are used to describe that Nirgunam Brahman. And the reason is why so many words are used, because the scriptures struggle to explain what that Nirgunam Brahman is. We say it is attributeless, correct? If it is an object, we can easily describe the attributes. Color and shape and whatnot, the age of the object, or what is the purpose of this object, use of that object. So many things we can describe. But when it is not an object, it is a subject. How do you describe it? And therefore, the Upanishad first says the subject is you, and then it points out in so many different ways with using so many different words what your real nature is. And that is what we see in the Gita and also in all the Upanishads. And that is what Jnana Yoga is all about. Jnana Yoga is what? Giving us the knowledge of our own self. That is Jnana Yoga. And therefore, the first exercise in Jnana Yoga is to understand what our real nature is and answer the question, who am I really? Of course, no doubt, when this knowledge is imparted to us, we will have numerous doubts. And therefore, the second exercise is to have all those doubts clarified, so that our intellect is satisfied and convinced about the new knowledge we have received about us. And this knowledge, this description of ours, we cannot find it in any of our school leaving certificate, our degrees, or anywhere. This description we will find only in the scriptures, in the Upanishads. And of course, Bhagavad Gita is nothing but a condensation of the Upanishads, so in Bhagavad Gita also. So this is the second stage, the Mananam stage. This will result in gaining doubtless knowledge, which is the bedrock on which Jnana Yoga, or for that matter, the entire moksha pursuit sits. Then in the next verse, that is in Shloka 4, Krishna highlights a few sadhanas, a few qualifications that a seeker has to acquire for the Nirguna Ishvara Dhyanam to be successful. And here he presents 3 important qualifications. And we have seen in Tattva Bodha, all these qualifications are summarized in Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. But here 3 of them he highlights. Here Krishna talks about mastering of the extrovert sense organs, that is curbing their ability to wander around. Then maintaining equanimity of the mind under all circumstances. And the third qualification mentioned is being committed to the well-being of all creatures, interest in the well-being of the entire universe. And then Krishna goes on to say that they, such meditators, Mam eva, me alone, prapnuvanti, attain. So such people, such meditators who meditate upon the self, on the Nirgunam Brahman, they attain me alone. So Nirguna Ishvara Dhyana Kartaraha, they attain me alone. That means what? They attain moksha. And when Krishna says Mam Eva, that Evakara can be understood in three ways. Because in Sanskrit, many times you can interpose, what you say, interpost, interchange the sequence of the words. Let me make it simple. So the eva can be put at any place in the sentence. So three ways we can put. One is te mam eva prapnuvanti. First one, they attain me alone. Or te eva mam prapnuvanti. They alone will attain moksha. And the third way is te prapnuvanti eva. Here eva means necessarily. They will necessarily attain moksha. And therefore that evakara gains importance depending upon where you place it in the sentence. So now we can compare the two answers given by Krishna. First he said Saguna meditators are superior. And here he says Nirguna meditators will attain me. From both the answers, we can gather that what? Both are important. Everyone requires both. It is only a question of sequencing. First Saguna meditation, followed by Nirguna meditation. That is how we have to understand. Now, having said that, in the next shloka, Krishna points out that the Nirgunam Upasana is not that easy. It is riddled with so many obstacles, so many difficulties. We will read the fifth shloka. Kleshodikatarastesham.
क्लेशोऽधिरक्ततेषाम्
Once more. Kleshodikatarastesham.
क्लेशोऽधिकर्तृतेषाम्
Avyaktasaktachetasam.
अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम्
Avyakta hi gatir dhukkam.
अव्यक्ता हि दुःखम्
Dehavadbhiravapyate.
देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते.
So the Anvaya is Kleshaha Adhikataraha Tesham Avyakta Asakta Chetasam Hi Gatihi Avyakta Avapyate Dukkham Dehavadbihi. Kleshaha Adhikataraha. The difficulties are more. Tesham, for those devotees. Avyakta asakta chetasam, whose minds are committed to the pursuit of the unmanifest Brahman. He, because or for, gatihi avyakta, the goal of unmanifest Brahman, avapyate dukkham, is attained with difficulty, dehavadbihi, by people with bodily attachment. So difficulties are more for those people whose minds are committed to the unmanifest Brahman. For the goal of unmanifest Brahman is attained with difficulty by the people of bodily attachment. 1 second, I will mute all. Okay. So in this verse, Krishna openly admits that Nirguna Dhyanam is extremely difficult, which indirectly means Jnana Yoga is extremely difficult because, as we have seen, Nirguna Dhyanam is what? Nididhyasanam, part of Jnana Yoga only. So, of the three disciplines, Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam, Shravanam, Mananam are relatively easy because you have the Shastra and the Guru to guide, to expose you to the knowledge. But Nididhyasanam is meditating upon your higher self, which cannot be perceived by your sense organs or even conceived by your mind. So, what will you meditate upon? And therefore, you will have to meditate upon that knowledge of your higher self for the purpose of assimilation of that knowledge and also living that knowledge. Transform your entire personality to abide in that knowledge. And here the Guru cannot help, nor Shastra gives any guidance. Both Guru and Shastra have done their job. But meditation has to be done by the sadhaka. That is why, it is like swimming, learning to swim. You cannot learn swimming by reading some books. Even the coach, he may actually hold your hand or, help you in the first few stages. But the coach will not, if he is going to hold your hand throughout, then you will never learn swimming. Ultimately, you have to take the risk of gulping some water, going underwater, coming up, gasping for breath. Everything you will have to go through. And then you learn swimming and you become a swimmer. Similarly, through this meditation, one has to replace one's identity with the body, mind, sense complex, with the identity of the higher self, the Satchidananda Atma, the consciousness principle. And that is not easy because you have been identifying yourself with the body, mind, sense complex for crores of earlier births. It is anadi. This avidya, ignorance of yourself, is anadi, beginningless times you have been thinking, you are identifying yourself with body, mind, sense complex. That has been your orientation till you chose to come to the Bhagavad Gita class or Vedanta class. And therefore, it is not easy to get rid of that orientation and replace it with a different one. Because what happens? Instinctively, we will go back to the old self. Even though we may try hard, very hard, to replace our identity with this body, etc., with our identity with the higher nature, But instinctively, we will go back to the old nature. And in fact, I think some long time ago, I have mentioned this. There is a experiment they conduct in management school, management classes. So at the beginning of the class, they to explain how difficult certain things are, how the instinct works, to demonstrate that the tutor or whoever it is who is conducting the class, he will ask all the participants if they are wearing their watches in the wristwatches in the left hand, they will ask them to remove it and put it on the right hand. And if they are wearing it on the right hand, they will ask them to put it on the left hand. So there is a change in the way you are wearing your watch. And that he will leave it at that, and he'll go on with the topic. And towards the end of that talk or lecture, he will ask everybody to check in which hand the wristwatch is. And everybody will be shocked to find that the wristwatch is come back to the original hand. That is, if it was a left hand was the original hand, it has come back to the left hand. Or if right hand was the original hand, it has come back to the right hand without the participant even knowing it. Somewhere during this course of this talk, instinctively, they have removed the watch from the unused hand to the used hand. And this is a very, very good example how difficult it is to change the orientation.
Is the subconscious mind working?
There, the subconscious mind is working. Because subconsciously, the whole problem is our identity with the body, mind, sense complex is so firmly embedded in the subconscious, along with so many other things. Subconscious, mind you, is a part of Sukshma Sharira. It has been traveling from one body to another body through all our rebirths. So it is not only having all the issues relating to this birth, but also many issues relating to our past births buried in the subconscious. And one of the most important aspects is this identification with the body, mind, sense complex, so deeply, so firmly buried in the subconscious, that whatever we may do to actually change that orientation, there is an instinctive reversal could happen back to this old situation. And that is why Pujya Swamiji always used to emphasize. One of the aspects of this Nididhyasana, he says that it is so difficult, people will sometimes hate Nididhyasana because there will be so many things in the subconscious which will surface. And some of them will be very, very disturbing thoughts. He says you can see people crying doing Nididhyasana. Because so many grief, sorrow, etc. are buried, they will all surface. So Puja Swamiji used to say in Nididhyasanam, instead of allowing all the things in the subconscious to surface one by one, of course they will surface, you pick up each one and deal with it. All these things are part and parcel of Nididhyasana. Because the moment you say, You are doing aham avyakta asmi. Then the subconscious say, what nonsense are you talking? How you are avyakta? You are vyakta. You have got a 6 foot height body and your 90 kilos weight is there. What are you talking avyakta? Subconscious will say this. So bring it out. No, you are wrong. So this is a conversation within ourselves between our intellect, which is holding this new knowledge, and our subconscious, which has got the old orientation. The conversation has to take place, and then we will have to deal and remove everything which is there in the subconscious. Rather, I will put it another way, replace all those there in the subconscious with this new knowledge. And this all, when Krishna says that nididhyasanam or dhyanam or nirguna Brahman is difficult, we have to bear in mind all these things. So he says, kleshaha adhikataraha. Difficulties abound, obstacles are innumerable. For whom? Avyakta chetasam. For those people who are committed to the formless God. Avyaktam, we have seen before, means indriya agocharam, not perceptible, the invisible formless principle. Asakta means committed. Chetasa means mind. So for those people whose mind is committed to Nirguna Ishwara Dhyanam, difficulties are innumerable and intense. In fact, you can go to the extent of saying they are almost insurmountable. And highlighting these difficulties, Kathopanishad goes to the extent of saying, Churasya dhara nishita duratyaya durgam patah tat kavayo vadanti. Churasya dhara means the razor's edge, razor, shaving razor, the edge is very sharp. Durgam patah, to walk on that razor's edge without getting hurt is not easy, isn't it? Durgam patah, it says. And therefore, Krishna says, even though you may enjoy all those beautiful talks and savanam during savanam, and also mananam, you may that intellectual exercise, looking at various commentaries and all to understand something which you have got a doubt about. Krishna says, when you come to the last part of Jnana Yoga, it is not going to be that easy, my dear. And therefore he says, avyakta gatihi dukkham. Avyakta gatihi means the destination of the formless one. Gatihi means the destination of avyakta, the formless, is indeed dukkham. Dukkham means difficult to reach. Because the word dukkham in Sanskrit means difficult. In Tamil, dukkham means sorrow. You should not confuse the Tamil dukkham with the Sanskrit dukkham. Dukkham means difficult to reach. Difficult. So Nirguna Dhyanam is extremely difficult to practice. But then Krishna adds one rider. And what is that? For whom is it difficult to practice? Dehavadbihi. Dehavadbihi means what? For the ordinary people, normal people. For the majority of the people. You can take it that way. And what is the common obstacle for all people? Krishna says the common obstacle is Deha Abhimana. The biggest and commonest obstacle to Vedanta is strong attachment to one's own physical body, which makes the mind the grossest mind, because we are identifying ourselves with our grossest personality. In fact, if you observe the people around you, almost everybody is focusing on improving their body. Morning walks, going to the gym, yogasanas, physical exercises, diet, so many different things. You open any Facebook page, there's so many things are there. You eat this diet, this will improve this, that diet, that will improve this. Protein, you get muscle improvement. Everybody, of course, I am not saying that maintaining a healthy body is not important. It is very important. And therefore, to what extent we should maintain is something that we have to decide. Morning walks are good. But is it necessary to go to the gym? Because as you become older and older, your muscles automatically aging, is there. They become loose. But then I've seen people in their late 80s going to the gym. They enjoy it probably. I don't know. So everybody is focused on the physical health. Rarely they have any thought of improving their mind. And even if when they say yoga, oh, I am doing yogasana, they are referring only to the asanas, which is again helpful only in improving the body, making it flexible. They don't go to the other stages. Even first two also, then yama, niyama also they don't follow. Asanas they do. Then later on also they don't just forget. So only out of Ashtanga, one Anga they take and they say, I am doing yogasana. Yoga I am doing. And both people with sattvic and tamasic mind, sattvic and rajasic mind, they will take bath every day and some even twice or thrice a day. Of course, I cannot talk about the people with tamasa pradhana personality. But they are so lazy even to take bath. So they will take bath every day with soap, shampoo, etc. to cleanse their physical body. But they do not realize that their mind is accumulating so much of dirt, so many impurities because of all the raga dvesha, that the mind also needs cleaning twice or thrice a day. But most of us do not have even time to think of improving the mind, because where is the time to think of improving the mind when I am all the time busy improving the body? And that is why Shastra prescribed the Trikala Sandhya Vandanam. If you are not able to do Trikala Sandhya Vandanam, do at least some chanting of prayers at least twice a day, morning and evening. What do those chanting, lead to? It is nothing but cleansing the mind. Mental activity. But people think it's a waste of time. They would actually prefer the Sandhya time to sit before the television, watch all the nonsensical and tear-jerking serials or soap operas come there, they will not find 15 minutes to sit before the altar and chant Vishnu Sahasranam. That is the tragedy of our times. Swami Tejomayanandaji of Chinmaya Mission has written a beautiful text called Manashodhana, which deals with purification of the mind. And therefore, when I am obsessed with the body, when I am obsessed with the protection of the body, when I am obsessed with the procurement of food, clothing, and shelter, even after retirement, I continue to be obsessed with the procurement of these three, because that is also to be taken into account. There will be no income, inflation will continue, diseases will appear, medical bills have to be paid. I don't know whether I can rely on my children. Perhaps I can, perhaps I cannot, because they have their own family to support, their own priorities in their life. Will it be fair on my part to lean on them? These are all some of the questions senior citizens have to grapple with. And therefore, all the time worried about my physical security, my financial security, my emotional security. Some of them drown all these things, these problems by watching the television. Some go to clubs and spend some time playing cards or some other games. And therefore, this is a real issue. And when the mind is occupied with all these problems, such a mind cannot think of anything beyond physical body. And once I am attached to the physical body, through the physical body, I will be attached to the people around, to my various relations. Because every relation is through the body only, isn't it? And therefore, I have a very strong individuality, limiting me, localizing me, restricting me to the time and place paradigm. And therefore, such a person cannot imagine himself to be unlocalized, timeless, and formless. Such a transformation will be very difficult. Transforming is transcending the form from Vyakta to Avyakta. And therefore, Krishna says, stronger the bodily attachment, the more difficult is Jnana Yoga. Then the question is, if Jnana Yoga is so extremely difficult, what am I supposed to do? Well, I am a spiritual seeker. I am interested in moksha, but I am not able to follow Jnana Yoga. I am not able to do Nididhyasanam. So what should I do? Here alone, we should be extremely careful, because when you pose such a question, there are many to jump in and give an answer. Many people will readily offer you free advice. And that is where many seekers get into problems. The majority of people give an answer which is totally non-Vedic. And what is the answer generally given? They will say, if Jnana Yoga is difficult, leave it. There are so many other paths to moksha. Choose any other easier path. There is Karma Yoga, there is Bhakti Yoga, there is Raja Yoga. Now they talk about Nada Yoga, music yoga, also moksha included now in the path to moksha. And they will quote Saint Tyagaraja. He will say, do you agree Saint Tyagaraja was a Mukta Purusha? You may say yes. You see, he had only Nada Yoga, by music he attained moksha. Then some people say, no, there is also a Kundalini Yoga. So people have come up with so many yogas are there, so many paths, different roads leading to moksha. And therefore, the general answer given is, since Jnana Yoga is difficult for majority, it is better to follow a simpler yoga. And mostly, they will conclude Bhakti Yoga is simpler yoga. Because in Bhakti Yoga, very simple, go to a temple, stand before the idol of the Lord, think of all your problems, and then pray, oh God, will I not get mukti from all my problems, and shed copious tears. Cry your heart out asking for moksha. And then they say the compassionate God, is so compassionate. He will give you moksha. And this appeals to us because we are experts in crying. And they will say, you see, have you studied Narayaniyam? If you say yes or if you say no, either way, they will say, in Narayaniyam, there is a chapter, there is a dashakam called Gajendra Moksha chapter in Bhagavatam. And they will convince you. They say, if God can give moksha to an elephant, because the elephant cried out to Narayana when it was caught by the alligator, the crocodile, why not you? You are also caught by the crocodile of samsara. Go to God and cry like that Gajendra elephant. Like Lord Vishnu gave Gajendra moksha, he will give you moksha also. So all convincing arguments, I tell you, and you will have nothing to answer to them. You will say, yes, 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 you will nod your head. You will nod your head only if you do not have a Vedic background. Because at the end of the day, when they quote Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam is not part of the Vedas. Bhagavatam is Purana, stories. It is all Vedas, Vedic knowledge diluted, totally diluted. Sometimes, it is like some, this, what they call insecticides, you can call it. Both, of course, I'm talking even chemical insecticides, or even, this, what is that called? Natural, this Ayurvedic or
Organic.
organic
Yeah, organic.
insecticides. There they will say, take 5 ml, mix it with 20 liters of water and spray on your plants. So, what is Purana? Taking 5 ml of Vedic knowledge, mix it with 20 liters of all these stories, wonderful stories of Gajendra Moksha, this, that, and all, and spray it on you. And they'll say you will get moksha. People who do not have Vedic background, they will fall for it. And that is why you see hundreds of people attend all these Bhagavatam Saptaham, hold a Vedanta class, you will hardly find 10 people there. Because Bhagavatam appeals. They think moksha. And for them, moksha is what? After death. Oh, okay, good, good, good. After death, I have been now assured I will get moksha. But the moot point to be noted in the suggestion of all these alternative paths is that they are totally missing, totally ignoring the sampradaya. And therefore, if a person gives such an answer, it means one has deviated from Sampradaya. A Sampradaya guru will never give such an answer. Sampradaya means what? Traditional teaching. So now we will ask, what is wrong with that answer? We should understand that we have already established through the Vedas and Upanishads, that for moksha, several margas are not there. There is only one marga, one path, one road to moksha. There are so many sentences in the Vedas which proclaim this. Shvetashvatara Upanishad says, Tamevam vidvan amritam iha bhavati nanyah pantha ayanaya vidyate. And in Purusha Suktam, this particular verse is borrowed. This truth is borrowed. And again, it is repeated twice for emphasis in Purusha Suktam. We find similar messages in Mundaka Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Kaivalya Upanishad, etc. And therefore, the Vedas clearly say only Jnanam alone will lead a person to moksha. Other than Jnanam, alternative margas are not there. And why do they say that? It's a very simple reason. What is the cause of all your dukkham, samsara, your grief, etc.? Ignorance is the problem. When ignorance is the problem, knowledge is the solution, only solution. If you are ignorant about something, you cannot meditate upon it or pray to God to give you the knowledge. You have to gain that knowledge. If darkness is the problem, bringing light is the only solution. Now imagine a room is dark and you want to remove darkness from the room. How many margas are there to remove the darkness? One person says, it is difficult for me to find a lamp, and therefore please bring a broomstick. I will sweep away the darkness. Another person says, even if there is no broomstick, no problem, I will do Shirasasanam in the room and darkness will go away. And a third person will say, no, you people are wrong. I will go into the room in darkness and chant Vishnu Sahasranama. Of course, all these three things are useful. If you are going to sweep the room in darkness, at least the floor will get clean. If you do Shirasasanam, your body, will titiksha, or what you can call, there will be improvement in your health. If you chant Vishnu Sahasranama, it will bring its own punya. All of them are useful. But none of them can remove the darkness. And especially chanting Vishnu Sahasranama in darkness is very useful, because while chanting, your eyes will not wander around, all dark all over. No, you will not watch what is going on there, what is going on there, while your mouth is chanting. So all these things cannot remove darkness. They cannot remove the darkness of the mind, which is ignorance, which is the cause of samsara, the cause of bondage, the cause for our feeling of limitation. And therefore, Adi Shankara says in Atma Bodha, Avirodhitaya karma na vidyam vinivartayet vidya vidyam nihantyeva tejas tejas Tejasti Tejastimira Sangavat. Timira Sangavat, like a cataract, He tells very clearly that darkness can go only by light. Ignorance can go only by knowledge. Samsara is because of ignorance, therefore moksha can be only through knowledge. And we firmly assert that knowledge is the only means. There is na anyaf pantha vidyate ayanaya. When we say this, some people may accuse us of being fanatics. They will say, no, you see, you are taking an extreme position. We should be, in the modern age, we should be moderate. Our approach should be all inclusive. And therefore, we should say all paths will lead to moksha. And they will also maybe more graceful to say, see, we understand that your preferred path is Jnana Yoga. That's fine. But you should not condemn the other paths. No tolerance, tolerance. You must have tolerance for all other paths. This is what they will say. Puja Swamiji used to say that for my saying that light alone removes the darkness, if you call me a fanatic, I will better be a fanatic rather than being a lunatic. So you call me by whatever name, but I will insist that ignorance goes through knowledge alone. Darkness goes through light alone. And this fact the Vedas repeatedly assert, Jnanat evatu kaivalyam. And therefore to say that Jnanam is difficult and therefore I will take alternative method is born out of confusion regarding spirituality. And again, we should remember knowledge comes only by inquiry or study. Any knowledge will come only by studying the relevant literature. If I want physics knowledge, I have no other method other than studying the physics literature. How many methods are there to acquire physics knowledge? Only one method. So I have no choice. If there are alternative methods of getting knowledge like meditation, when you sit in an erect posture, hands in yoga mudra, and you go on repeating in your mind, what is physics? What is physics? A plus B whole square is equal to what? Etc. etc. What will you get? Somewhere in the corner of your mind, you will hear a faint voice. You are a fool, you are an idiot. If you want to know A plus B whole square, go take up a physics book and look at that. The funny part is, even Patanjali's Yoga Shastra accept that spiritual ignorance is the root cause of all human problems and sufferings. And they even call this ignorance as avidya. And having said that, they do not talk of knowledge to get rid of this ignorance, but talk of so many other sadhanas, which are the limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. And therefore, the problem with other philosophies is that they correctly diagnose the problem, but goof up when it comes to offering the right solution, which is knowledge alone can remove ignorance. And you don't need any scriptural study for what is a matter of basic common sense. The scriptures step in because when we say ignorance, The question will be ignorance of what? And in the spiritual context, it is the ignorance of the reality of Jiva, Jagat, and Ishvara. And therefore, in order to remove that ignorance, which is the cause of samsara, the scriptures enter the scene. And therefore, scriptural study becomes important to get rid of this ignorance. And therefore, you cannot get the knowledge by simply doing meditation, or for that matter, doing pada puja to some physics teacher or to a guru, by chanting some mantras, by going to some temples, pilgrimages, etc. Knowledge can be gained only by relevant, consistent, and systematic study. And that is why Vyasacharya begins Brahma Sutra with the sutra Athato Brahma Jignasa. Jignasa means what? Systematic study of the relevant literature. And this systematic study is called Jnana Yoga. And therefore, Jnana Yoga alone gives Jnanam, and Jnanam alone removes ignorance, and removal of ignorance alone gives moksha. This foundation we should very carefully have. That is the sampradaya, that is the traditional teaching. And therefore, to study any commentary of Shankaracharya or any text, these fundamentals should be very clear. And if this is not clear, we will end up doing lot of spiritual sadhanas without knowing what exactly I am in this for. And if there is an alternative method of getting knowledge, like touching the head or what they call sparsha diksha, drishti diksha, no? Touching the back, etc. If by doing such a thing knowledge can be given, imagine, why should Krishna takes 18 chapters to teach all these things to Arjuna, wasting our time? Krishna would have used that shortcut in the battleground, isn't it? Because a battleground is the most inconvenient place for teaching Vedanta. So much shouting and playing of drums and things, so much sound is there. How can you teach Vedanta? And therefore, Krishna, being what he is, would have handed over the knowledge by a simpler method. He will ask Arjuna, what do you want? I want knowledge. Tathastu. He would have shown his hand, and then the whole knowledge would have flown from the center of his hand to Arjuna's brain and got embedded there. Matter over. 1 second. The very fact that Krishna himself did not adopt such a simple method and had to go through 18 chapters and some of the messages repeatedly indicates that there are no alternative methods. Go through systematic study, gain knowledge, and be free. This is Jnana Yoga. And therefore, never say Jnana Yoga is difficult and therefore I will take a simpler method. That is not possible. Then what I should do? Because Krishna himself is saying Jnana Yoga is difficult. And you say I have to necessarily go through Jnana Yoga. And therefore, what should I do? The answer is very simple. If you find Jnana Yoga difficult, make Jnana Yoga easy. Now you will come the next question. How to make Jnana Yoga easy? Again, very simple. Answer I will give you in the next class. Time is up. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram.
Hari Om Guruji, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaste, pranam.
Namaste. Pranam.
The pause is excellent.
Eh?
The last part is very good.
So that you come to the next class. Oh, time was up, I mean, if the time was not
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
I would have revealed the secret. Very simple.
But well, very well explained. Very well explained.
Thank you. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Guruji, you were mentioned, I think she is talking. Okay. Sulekha ji is speaking.
No. Sulekha ji, is a question,
Okay.
Sulekha ji?
Okay. I thought, yeah.
No.
You were mentioning, yeah.
Go ahead, Anjali ji.
You were mentioning about leave about the gym, but even the yogasanas we don't practice to the fullest extent. That is very right, because even the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it is mentioned that yogasana is first is Sthira Sukhamasanam and then Ananta Samapati. That is one has to get stabilized in the posture and then get united with the God, experience union of the God. So we leave that part is far away.
Yeah.
We only do as gym exercises, we do
Yeah,
yogasana also.
see, today this yogasana has become a business.
Yeah.
Many people are making a living out of teaching yogas. And people think that, but of course, I'm not against yogasana. You should do yogasana. I also do yogasana.
Yes. Yeah. Both.
Purpose you should understand is only what it will give you. It will give you flexibility of the body. There are many glands in our body, which because as we grow older, we have to activate them. When the glands are activated, then lot of things which the body has to the body functions properly. And because of, when we are young, we do lot of running around this, that and all. Many times the glands are not activated. Therefore, the yogasanas are very good to activate those glands, relax your muscles. So the tragedy I have found in many people, they will go to a gym to tighten the muscle, then come and do yogasana to relax the muscle. I mean, this is the ignorance of even the body, what it requires. They're so ignorant. Forget about samsara, ignorance of the.
Yes.
I mean, you got to talk of that,
Yeah.
We'll do that anyway.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay, Guruji, thank you.
These things are all very presumptively, perfunctorily done, that is. That they do 30 seconds, one asana. In 1 hour, they will probably end up doing some 12-15 asanas.
Yeah.
Some sleeping posture, standing posture, sitting posture. All that they will do. Happy. Okay.
Yeah.
It feels so good. That's good.
Okay,
But
Guruji,
that is
thank you.
true. Once you do the yogasana,
Yeah.
there is a feeling of good, feeling good.
Little feeling.
Last for a few minutes. After that, you get back into your routine. That is it. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, Guruji, thank you.
Hari Om. Anything else? I think most people have logged out, so we can close the session. Continue in the next class. Okay, Hari Om.